This is episode 2 of Joyfully Married After. How do you know you found the one? This is Joyfully Married After with Heath and Tracy. I'm Heath.
And I'm Tracy.
We're joyfully married after how many years, baby?
26.
26 years, 4 kids, corporate jobs, entrepreneurs, and this podcast is our view on life through our lens.
Let's go. What are we talking about today, baby?
We're talking about how to know you found the one.
The one what?
The one, THE1.
Ooh.
Yes. So I think, sometimes that's a question today, right? Sometimes our relationships can be a little ambiguous. People are not really sure. It's a little, there's kind of non-committal language around relationships and that kind of thing. And so I wanted to sort of present it in a way that we knew through our lens.
I think it's weird how people date now and they don't know what to call one another.
Yep. So we didn't have that issue when we were dating.
No, we didn't.
It was like, that is my woman.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a guessing game. If it's a guessing game, move on.
Yes, exactly.
Who wants to play that game?
I concur.
So that's one of the reasons I knew Heath was kind of the one for me. He pursued me. I didn't have any doubts whatsoever that he wanted to get to know me better right off the rip.
Yep. So we just kind of put together a little top 5, for each of us. So Tracy's number 1 is that I pursued her.
Yes.
And my number 1 actually was that you were so easy to talk with, baby, right? It wasn't pretentious. It wasn't, fake. It was just regular dialogue, right? We just got to know each other. We talked, we shared, we explored, we dreamed, we did all those kinds of things. And so that was a big check, probably subconsciously in my box.
You didn't feel like you had to put on any kind of airs or be any type of way for me. Yeah,
I think that works both ways, right? I think because you were so easy to talk with, that made it so easy for me to open up even more to you. And it was just an open dialogue and exchange in a way that we got to know each other.
Yeah, show that vulnerability. And I think with you showing that vulnerability came up with my number 2.
Okay.
Which was, you made me feel secure with myself.
That's deep right there.
Yeah, it's like if I knew where you were coming from and I knew you were being authentic, I knew that I could be authentic.
Right.
And so that made me feel secure about the way I looked. That made me feel secure about whatever I talked about, whatever I liked, whatever I didn't like, whatever I wanted to do, whatever I didn't want to do, is because you were being vulnerable and felt you could be vulnerable with me, that I, in turn, felt secure and being vulnerable with you.
And I guess that probably dovetailed into the second, the number 2 item for me, which was that you didn't give me a whole lot of drama. Right. And so guys can probably relate to being in relationships where maybe the woman that they were dating was a little dramatic about a number of different things. Maybe she was extra about this or extra about that. And of course, guys can be that way as well.
Yeah, guys have
but the point is that I think that openness and that dialogue and the genuine way that we were engaging what made it to where you didn't have to be extra, because I was so attentive to you, because I did want to know what was happening with you, because I did want to know where you were, where can I find you, let's go and do this, let's go and do that.
Every day, guys, every day.
So what's going on today?
Where you want to meet?
You want to go have lunch? You want to go do something else?
Yeah.
All right, I'll be there.
Okay, I'll see you.
So that's what it was, right? So it was just very easy. It was very drama light, drama free. And so that was my number 2, that you didn't have a whole lot of drama.
So that probably leads me to why you were able to do my number 3.
Okay.
Which was make me laugh. Because you were feeling like it. You were feeling calm. You were feeling secure because I didn't give you any drama. You were able to be jokey and make jokes and have fun. And I was constantly laughing. It was so much fun. So I associated fun with you.
Right. It was a good time. And, So, that probably impacted my number 3, which was that you always looked good to me. That you were just so, and you still are today.
Oh, thank you, sweetie. You do
You,
too.
thank you. I appreciate that, baby. That you were just always visually appealing to me, right? So just kind of the way you had this glide and stride about you, the way that you carried yourself, your elegance, your diction, your aura, everything to me was beautiful. It was sexy. It was classy, and this was all very appealing to me. And I was beginning to think to myself, this girl might be the one.
I know. It's so weird because we thought it about the same time. I mean, we would get on the phone, talk for hours without any airs. It was just like we could talk about whatever we wanted to talk about. And I never had to call you. I never had to wait to hear back from you. You were always looking for me, and that made me comfortable. As far as the way I looked, it was fun for me to come up with looking different because I knew I was going to see you that day.
Yep.
And I knew that I wanted to look different. It was almost effortless. I think I mentioned earlier that I actually cut all my hair off at one point and changed it to a totally different color. Like I said, I don't know if it was a test or what, but you definitely passed because you were like, okay, wow, this is really, really nice looking. I like this. And it just made me freer. I was the type of person that liked to change my look often. I did not look like everybody else. I did not dress like everybody else. So that was a kind of a point for me that he liked the way I looked. And so it was easy to give you that visual effect.
Yes. It was like, whatever, baby. Hair on, hair off, makeup on, makeup off.
Long hair, short hair.
Like, whatever. I dig
curls,
this.
no curls, bang, no bang.
I dig this girl right here.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah.
It was really, really nice very, very early on.
And that was another point that you brought up there, baby, that I wanted to highlight was that you were talking about how we talked all the time and how we talked so much.
Yeah,
which is interesting that, because this was pre-cell phone days when we were dating. And today,
dating ourselves? Ugh. We didn't have texting.
No, it was not.
We didn't have the fun. We didn't have any of that. We didn't have FaceTime. And gosh, you guys are so lucky now.
There was no just texting. It was get on the phone and talk about it.
Yeah, I think people should do more of that. I just don't see how you can establish any kind of relationship, platonic or romantic, by a text. You can't.
Yeah.
And those of you out here who think that you can are lying to yourselves. It's going to be superficial. It's going to be surface.
Yeah.
If you want to get to know someone better, pick up the frickin' phone. Call them. FaceTime them. I wouldn't just say, hey, what you doing? And then hit FaceTime. I wouldn't do that. That's a little intrusive. But I would definitely say, hey, I'd love to, text back and forth for a minute, feel them out, and then say, hey, let's talk later.
Yeah.
Let's talk later. And then just maybe set a time. And that could almost be like a date these days.
It really can.
Because you guys text so much.
But that's another conversation. We'll probably cover that in a future podcast.
So how do you know? I mean, yeah, we mentioned what we like, but how do you know?
Right.
And I think some of the things that we mentioned speak to how you know.
Right. Really getting to know each other, being open, being vulnerable, engaging, conversation, all of those things were
being
rolled
authentic.
into rolled. All of those are rolled into our top 3 that we've covered so far, and so that leads me into the number 4 way that I knew you were the one, was that as I started thinking about how awesome you were, I was like, this girl could be the one.
Well, I mean, did you?
Which took me to my number 4 which was I couldn't find anything about you that I didn't like.
Oh my gosh.
I was like,
I felt the same way.
oh my God, I might have found the one. This is bonkers. And so for me, it was like, I was not naive enough to think that you didn't have any flaws or
Right.
that you were some kind of imperfect super being from another planet or that kind of thing. It may have felt like that.
Yeah, it does. It does.
But the point was that I could not find any, and I don't know if I was looking for this subconsciously.
That's what I was going to ask you.
But I could not find anything that I didn't like about you. And so to me, I began thinking to myself, I wasn't really looking for
no,
a
because
wife.
I wasn't either.
I wasn't really looking for a new long-term relationship, but I may have just found one. Oh my gosh. This is
And that is
nuts.
how you think about it. You think long term. You think, do I want to see this person again? I hope you aren't out here in the world dating, thinking, oh, should I marry this person? That's not how we get there. That's not what we're saying. We're saying, can I see myself going further with this person? And I think Heath and I pretty much within the first 3 to 4 weeks kind of knew we wanted to keep it going.
Yep, sure did.
So in that, I think the things you want to think about are authenticity. Are you having fun? Are you making this fun? Don't be so serious about it all the time.
Don't be so serious.
We weren't. I don't think we were serious at all.
We were just.
We were in school, so I just don't think we were serious at all. We were
just
serious about our
natural.
schoolwork. We
Right,
were serious
right.
about things we had to get done.
Right.
But I don't think we were serious about one another.
It was
like
a very
that.
natural, free flowing kind
I think
of
you were
engagement.
even
yeah.
like you had even had like another girlfriend.
No, I did not have another
Yeah, I
girlfriend.
think you did.
No, I did not. I was coming off of a long-term
well,
relationship.
she didn't know.
She found out, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, so there you go.
Okay.
So
Well-
what was your number 4, baby?
I think I said it. I
No,
didn't
you
say
didn't.
my number 4.
No, I don't think so.
Let's see. I said
You said I made you laugh.
you made
'cause I
me
think that was your
laugh,
number
easy
3.
to talk to. Didn't have drama. That was you.
That was mine, yeah.
I said talk for hours. Yes, I did. Talk for hours.
Yeah. Okay.
It was like talking to my best friend.
Yeah.
That was mine.
I got you. Okay. That's cool.
Because you pursued me.
Mm-hmm.
I felt secure around you.
Uh-huh.
You made me laugh.
Yep.
And talking to you was like talking to my best friend.
Okay. Yeah.
And then yours were easy to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have any drama.
Yep.
I look good.
Always look good.
And you
I couldn't find anything I
you
didn't like. Yeah. So there you go. And I think I rolled into my number 5, which was that you were just always classy and classic to me in just all the ways, right? And so you think about your wife, and I guess what my paradigm anyway, probably was impacted by my mom, right?
Southern Bells we are.
Yes. And so for me, Southern women always jumped out at me more than others, so I guess that was just kind of a predisposition that I had. But in terms of how you conducted yourself, how you reacted to various situations, how you walked, how you spoke, how you handled things, how you were engaged with me, your addiction, your lovingness, just everything about you resonated with me, and I think that that was kind of like my number 5. You were just classic.
I'd have to ditto that. I thought you were very classic. I was the pretty. I like pretty clean cut, straight, straight, clean cut kind of guys. He never used profanity around me, which was really refreshing.
Yep.
He didn't belittle or talk poorly about other girls or ex-girlfriends. It was always in a good way. It was never in a bad way. Never, ever, ever. And that was very appealing to me because I just felt like his level of respect for the opposite sex was there, and I could see it right away. Yeah. It wasn't anything. There were no red flags, really.
Right.
No red flags at that point in the relationship when it came to, I'm going to hang out with this person long term, have fun, and see where it goes. And that's pretty much all you're really looking for. And as far as knowing that Heath was the one, was all of those things wrapped up. And so after you get to a certain point in the relationship, and ours came pretty quickly.
It did.
Then you make the next step to, okay, marriage and all of that. But we didn't do that for quite some time. I think we dated about 18 months.
Yep.
Before we got married, and we did have a child in there.
We did.
So that was not part of the equation. It was a circumstance of our relationship. And she is a beautiful child, and we're grateful for her.
Yes.
And she considers herself a love child. But for the most part, it was not why we're together.
Right.
We are together. We decided to be together before that happened.
Right.
And it was a circumstance of the relationship, and we decided to continue our relationship.
Yes.
So that's a very important to know. Don't marry someone just because you share a child. That's just not a good enough reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably a catalyst in your relationship to find out, okay, what are we really doing here?
Yep.
But it should not be a reason to marry somebody.
Right. Right.
But and I bring that up because I don't want people to think that that's part of the reason I knew he was the one, because I had a baby and he stayed with me. No, that is not. We were at our point before that happened.
Yes.
And the reasons that we gave you earlier were the reasons that we definitely knew we were right for each other.
That's it.
So thank you for joining us again for this moment on Joyfully Married After with Heath and Tracy.
And we should probably mention, baby, that a lot of these kinds of topics that we're talking about today can be found in our new book.
Oh, prepare.
Yes, life and marriage is not a sprint.
Life is a marathon. No, marriage is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yes.
That's what you meant to say.
That's the subtopic.
Yeah. Marriage is a
subtitle.
marathon, not a sprint, guys. Prepare.
Prepare.
So our book just kind of outlines what the short, it's a real quick read, really easy read about what you want to kind of touch on before you even start talking about marriage to someone.
Yeah.
And it's good for people that are considering marriage, maybe not in proposal phase yet, but at a point of, hey, maybe I do want to move forward with this person. It's something you may want to read and check out by yourself before you read it together.
And I think that, for people that are in our age group that have maybe adult children that are in that same boat, I think it's, could be a great gift for them.
Yeah.
As well as people who are starting over, right? There's some people that have been divorced and that are getting married again. And they
I think it's good for everybody to take a look at.
Absolutely.
It's good for a good relationship starter to see if this is a good relationship or not. If you check off the chapters in the book, you'll find that, hey, maybe I need to move on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something to think about. And you can find that at heathandtracy.com.
Yep.
Under new products.
That's it.
All right.
And it's super cheap.
It is.
Lots of bang for the buck.
Lots of bang for the buck.
Great value.
Okay. So remember to
stay connected. Stay connected to God. Stay connected to your family. And stay connected to your spouse.
Or your significant other. Bye, loves.
Love you guys. Thanks again for listening today, folks. If you liked any of what you heard, please like, comment, and subscribe to our podcast. Tell a friend, too. And you can engage us at heathandtracy.com for all the goings on in our world. Queen Tracy, speak to the people.
Bye, loves.